What's going on, brother? The Nubian and Professor Babalaskar, Mahogany, Finn, Takia, Jet. We're just gonna wait for a couple more minutes for the room to fill up with a few more people, but make sure as you're coming in to hit the like button. What's up, Jamal? What's up, Spirit of Justice, Sonia C's, Mona Day, Mother Nature? I'm probably get started. Maybe what's the time? It's 6:02. Probably about 3 minutes. What's going on, Ashton? Dallas, Fort Worth, Tashana. All right, I'm gonna just go ahead and get started. Whoever's gonna come in will eventually come in. First off, I'm glad that y'all were able to survive the weekend without me. uh, like I said, the last video that I had posted up was on Friday because it was my birthday, and I had left y'all with a video over on blackjunction.tv, and it did get quite a bit of feedback, like I hoped and expected that it would. My weekend was pretty decent. It actually felt good to be away from doing videos for an entire weekend. Because I remember in the past I said that when I went away that I wouldn't do certain like videos. If I was away from my MacBook, I would like just not focus on making any kind of content. Sometimes I would slip up if it was a story that was important enough for me to do. But this time I actually stuck to my word and just decided not to upload any type of videos onto my channel for an entire weekend. And the thing is, I actually came back on Sunday at a decent time to the point where I probably could have uploaded something on Sunday, but I said no, I'm gonna wait till Monday, just like I had said on Friday. And to be honest, I had, like most of you know, that I have like that little software thing on my phone, and I can actually upload videos like that through my phone as well. And I didn't do that. And so that lets you know that I was determined just to free myself of doing any type of content for the weekend. I think this is probably the longest that I probably have never uploaded videos at a certain amount of time, which is kind of crazy considering I upload videos every single day. So what's 3 days? To be honest, it doesn't feel like, as you said, how does it feel to be 29? It actually doesn't feel any different than it was feeling 28. It feels exactly the same. I'm still in good health. I still go to the gym 3 times a week like I usually do. I don't really feel any different. Nothing is breaking down on me, so that's a good thing. So it feels pretty much the same for right now, but I've only been 29 for 4 days, so we still got the rest of the year to go. But this is the last leg of my 20s right here. Like, it's crazy. I'm about to, in less than a year, I'm gonna be 30. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. And thank you to everybody who wished me a happy birthday, and even the people right now in the chat wishing me a happy belated birthday. I do truly appreciate it. Like, I saw all the comments and read what people said under the video that I did on Friday. So it definitely is appreciated. And just like I said on Friday, I said I was going to do a live stream today because I knew I wasn't going to upload a podcast on Sunday. So that's why I'm doing this live stream today, to kind of make up for that. So I figure in this live stream, we'll probably do it the same way that I would do on my podcast. Those of you who watch my SoundCloud, or should I say listen to my SoundCloud podcast, you already know that in that every Sunday I upload basically a recap of everything that happened in that previous week in the news, whether it's, pretty much like, I guess you could say an array of different topics. So this one's going to be no different. And let me tell you, in the last week, a lot of stuff has happened. But what I'm not going to come in here and talk about, because I already talked about it and addressed it in the video that I showed myself in, and that's Kanye West. I already said that I'm not going to talk about him. I said too many people have already said what they need to say about him. I said that I'm not going to talk about him, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I said the last time I talked about him, I said that the next time I speak about him is when he's getting his wake-up call, and not a moment sooner, because I could have easily did multiple videos about him, or one long video about him by now if I really wanted to, but I'm just going to leave that one alone for right now. Mahogany Fan, you said your birthday was on Sunday. Well, happy belated birthday. Shout out to all the Tauruses. You said, am I upset that Avengers Infinity War wasn't released on my birthday? I'm not. I'm glad that it came out the week before my birthday, because I wasn't going to have time to see it, so it actually worked out fine. Okay, now I need to try to figure out what story should I start with first, because I see a lot of y'all in the chat are leaving comments about like different topics, and I'm trying to figure out which one to talk about, or anything non-Kanye West related, and that's plenty of stories, to be quite honest. Let me see. JMJ said the toddler beating at the daycare. I did talk about that. That was a video that I did probably right before I had left for the weekend about the little boy that was beaten at the daycare, and then they tried to say and put the blame on another toddler that went there, which I instantly did not believe, and I'm glad that the mother didn't believe it either. And I think the update so far is that they've shut down that daycare, which is a good thing. And the fact that they shut down that daycare lets me know they admitted to guilt, that somebody who works there did that. I said, when you look at that child's face, he looked like he got out of a boxing match. Like his lip was swollen. He had bruises on his face and cuts and everything. There's no way you can tell me, anybody with a sane mind, that another child did that. There's no way. A child's hits could not do that. It's just no way. I don't believe that for a second. J-Dog, I actually did vote already for those categories, and I know what you're talking about. I already voted for it. But I think one of the biggest things that people want to talk, that I would say that got a lot of people talking, especially within the last day or so, you can actually refer to the title of this live stream, This is America. First off, who has seen the video? Who has watched the video? The This is America video by Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover. And also, I'm leaving the link in the chat just in case anybody wants to chime in. Me and Bitter Truth Show, we actually were on a live stream, on his live stream last night on his channel. Shout out to him, by the way. And we were talking about that video and kind of breaking it down based on this article that was put out about it. And one of the things that I said in his live stream, I said, I dare anybody to watch that video without bopping their head or moving around to that video. I said a good 99.9% of people probably can't even do it.
Hi, Swareen.
I'm not even gonna lie. When I first watched the video, I bopped my head to it. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie and pretend to fake the funk. But then after I did that, is somebody
how's it going?
Oh.
Hi.
Hold on a second.
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Trying to hide my face a little bit.
Just click the turn camera off button. It should be
all right.
Turn camera off.
Wow, so cool. Okay, I see.
Okay.
Oh, all right, I got it.
All right.
I'm just only going to talk for a short time.
Sorry. Can you hear me? First of all, huge fan of your channel.
Say it again.
Huge fan of your channel.
Oh, thank you.
Big
so
respect.
am I.
Oh yeah, happy 29th.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Bless.
I'm already 29. I turned 29 last year. Going to turn 30 this year.
Are you ready for it?
Yep.
I'll be saying the same thing next year. So I mean, I'm as ready as I'm going to be. So.
Yeah, I'm ready for the big 3-0.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't seen the video, but I heard about it from Chrissy's channel. That This is America. So yeah.
I've seen the video.
Everyone. Hi everyone. How you doing?
What did you think of the video? Like when you saw it?
Well, I was very shocked when I saw the video. So basically, it's like the messages. It's like at first I didn't really know a lot of the messages until I started looking them up. Like the reason why he didn't wear a shirt throughout the entire performances, and why he's always too focused on the camera. Why he's always trying to stand in front of the camera the whole video. And then I realized he's representing a minstrel show or Jim Crow or something.
Okay.
Well,
So basically, what it
Karen, it's all right. It's all right, Karen.
yeah, basically it's saying, um, like you look at the background, you see all these different problems or the gun violence, but yet you're only too focused on the guy who's just entertaining, and that comes to the realization they only care about us when we're entertaining people.
Interesting. Um, I would say
So,
that one of the things that stuck out to me in the video was, and some people overlooked this part, was when it was towards the end of the video, not at the very end, but the part where the person was riding behind on the white horse and they had all black on, and that was supposed to be one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse representing death. And behind it was cops running behind them representing hell on earth. I thought that was very interesting.
well,
I've seen
I
I've seen
overlooked
the
that.
horse.
I overlooked
You,
that.
you,
But,
you
oh,
go ahead.
oh,
Sorry about that, Professor. You go ahead.
that's all right. Yeah. Well, the thing I noticed from the video, I never watched it, but I did got a notification from Chrissy, and she done a breakdown of the video. The video supposed to be actually was explaining how it's supposed to be pro-African, but he's not married to an African woman, you know. So he's basically saying one thing, but he's doing another. That's what I got the message. So I don't think she mentioned anything about a horse in the video though, because she never watched it either, and she said she's not gonna watch it. So I think after hearing about the horse, I think I should watch the video, but I'm still quite disappointed. If that's good enough.
Now I hear you. I mean, everyone's going to take their different stance on it different, but I was looking at more so of the message of it. And Dallas Fort Worth said something in their video in the chat. She said, "Did you notice the part in the video when he shot the man in the back of the head? He was standing in what was supposed to be the Sambo Coon pose."
Yeah, I think I saw that. Basically, he was wearing the man that was in the chair at first was playing the guitar, and then when we focus back onto that man, he's basically blindfolded, almost look like he's tied up, probably not tied up, and then basically Donald Glover takes out a gun and just shoots him.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then he just distracts the people by just dancing, and basically he's
I know
just
people.
he's basically trying to get people to basically look away from the guy being shot and then drag away. It might indicate the meaning probably is um, basically that they don't care about people getting shot, especially black people getting shot. Basically, it's basically when a black person is getting shot, they just basically try to ignore it. So they just take the body away and just ignore it.
Mm-hmm. And also, did you notice in the video when the choir was singing? Did you hear what they were saying in the when they were singing the choir? They were saying, "Get your money, black man. Get your money, black man." And he came in dancing, and they kept saying it over and over again. And I said this in Bitter Truth Show's live stream last night. And then he came and he shot them. That was pretty much a reference, of course, to Dylan Roof when he killed those people in that church back in 2015. And also, what I took away from it is them them being silenced, telling the black man to get his money and get paid because
When he pumped,
they don't basically want us to pretty much rely on their system and not on ourselves, especially when it's coming like the message is coming from us.
probably also what it's talking about is when we hear about these talks about reparations and stuff like that, building business, our own businesses and stuff like that. They don't want us to talk about it. I mean, it's bad. It's already they don't want us to actually do it, but they don't want us to even talk about it. Just say nothing about it. They want us to have absolutely nothing.
Someone else had said that. I think what you just said about the reparations part too.
Yes, I figured that's what they mean. Get your money, black man, is means black people in general trying to get our own money, get our money together, and not try to just only just spend it, but like invest in something positive with your money, not just getting rid of it or not getting it at all.
And basically, excuse me. And basically, also like in the video, it was just talking about showing the state of blacks in America right now whenever a tragedy occurs, and how it's heavily talked about one week, and maybe a week or two later it's forgotten once they can throw up a veil of a distraction there. Basically, we saw what goes on almost every single day with black people in America, especially when a tragedy happens, wrapped up in maybe a 4-minute video.
Yes.
Because notice that the whole time in the video when he's dancing and rapping, all the chaos that's going in the background, but everyone was almost focused and zeroed in on him and the kids dancing the whole time.
Yes, I know that.
That's why so many people had to watch it a lot of times, because at the first time they're not going to get it.
That is kind of true. Basically, is they want to focus. It's kind of like with the celebrities and black celebrities. It's like, why are you worrying about struggling and stuff like that? Y'all got celebrities, y'all making money. Why y'all complaining about racism and stuff like that? That's basically what's going on. When a tragedy happens, they just find some way or some person to basically cause us to ignore it. They say this guy is doing good and stuff like that.
In Dallas Fort Worth, I responded to you. That was SZA sitting on the car at the end of the video. That was her.
That was her? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was her. But of course, in the coming days, more and more people are going to just start to decide to dissect the video as time goes forward. Like somebody else said, somebody like Donald Glover needs to come out and dissect the video himself, since it is his song and it is his video, because only he can explain it like more than anyone else could. Some people might actually be right as far as how the video breakdown is for their own assessments, but it's nothing like hearing it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. Another thing I want to talk about the video is the very end, when he's basically in this dark room or dark area and he's being chased by people. Mm-hmm. That's like they're saying that it's basically the sunken place, basically the mental slave mentality, and he's trying to run away from it or get out of it.
I didn't think of it like that, but that is interesting, because it was dark. When he was running, you could tell by the look on his face like he was like scared out of his mind of who was chasing him. I wonder if that was who the person on the horse was bringing to him, because they looked like cops. Were those cops that were chasing him?
I didn't see anyone chasing the horse really, but so I can't really tell you. I just saw the horse, and that's it. I'll have to look at the video again.
That's why I say. That's why I say he. That's why I say he just needs to come out and actually explain it himself, because he'll do a better job at explaining it than myself, or you could.
Oh, okay. And another reason why I put that in mind is because he actually performed the song during this last week's episode of Saturday Night Live. And before he performed the song, it's very surprising that Daniel Kaluuya would be the one to introduce him as he's about to do the song.
Yeah, I did see that. I didn't watch the performance, the live performance, but I did see that that he introduced him. If y'all don't know who he's talking about, Daniel Kaluuya, he was the one that played Chris in Get Out. And he introduced him on SNL this past weekend when he performed the song live for the first time.
I don't know what to say about the video. It looked like a good video.
Like I said, it definitely started a conversation. I will say that.
Yes. The music was good. Like, I liked a couple of his songs. I admit that.
And you know what's so funny? That he ironically, that he was introduced by him on SNL, because Donald Glover also did that song for the movie Get Out, the very first song that played in the movie.
You mean Redbone?
That's the name of the song, because I never knew the name of the song, but when it come on, I know the song when it first comes on, but I never knew the title of it. That's the title of it?
Yeah. I forgot if there was another word, but I know it has Redbone in it.
Oh, okay.
I know he also has the upcoming movie, the solo film. Did you hear that there are some people that are planning to boycott that?
It wouldn't surprise me, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me because,
It's mostly these white, alt-right people, or just some haters of the fact that Star Wars is a little bit more diverse now.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the fact that this particular Star Wars, the main lead is a white male. It's Han Solo. It's basically years before the first film, before he even introduced himself to Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia. He does, however, introduce himself to Chewbacca and Lando, which is who Donald Glover is playing, a younger version of Billy D. Williams' character.
And that's probably why they're mad, because that character is iconic and played by an iconic actor who is Billy D. Williams, of course.
Yeah, but
because he released the song in this video, that's basically the same thing that they said when Beyonce made that Formation song in that video, and then she performed it at the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
Well, isn't Han Solo supposed to be an iconic character too, and stuff like that?
But see, that's the thing. They'll look past that and only focus on the black actor. And let's be real here. I highly doubt the ones who saying that they're going to boycott it are actually going to boycott it. They're just saying that to say it because it's popular to say at the time.
I know, because they tried the same thing with Force Awakens. That boycott ended up failing. They failed that boycott. Not only did the boycott fail, it's now the third highest grossing film with $2 billion and something cents. I think another reason why they're boycotting is because they hate the current CEO of Lucasfilms. They accuse her of being a feminist because a lot of the big characters in the previous films have been female characters. Kathleen Kennedy, I believe that's what her name is.
I've heard her name before.
But, you know, there's a lot of black people who have not been watching the Star Wars movies either because they do not like the film. I mean, I like the Star Wars films, but I understand that some people, um, some black people, in fact, do not like the Finn character like they do the Lando and Windu character. I'm like, that's
Yeah,
one of my
and
biggest issues.
I can see why. And I can see why.
Matter of fact, right now, we're the lowest audience of the Star Wars films.
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all because when that franchise got started all the way back in the 70s, we kind of back then even knew that that franchise really wasn't geared towards us because it wasn't a lot of black people in the movie besides the Lando character. And even up until recent times, then they threw Samuel L. Jackson in there, and he was just the one black character in there. And now you have the one black character with the Finn character. So it's like they literally, basically, every black character in the Star Wars film was pretty much was always a token. Was the token black character.
Yeah, basically, Samuel Jackson is the only black Jedi. And he's the only black Jedi. Finn, people thought Finn would become a new Jedi. Turned out that ended up being Rey. Another thing is, since no one watched SNL, Donald Glover and SNL actually did a sketch about the situation involving black actors or black characters in the Star Wars franchise. Now, there actually are other black actors who are involved in the franchise, like Forrest Whitaker, but actors like James Earl Jones and Lupita Nyong'o, the only reason why they're doing it is they're voicing characters, like one's an alien and the other one happens to be the voice for the Darth Vader, because the guy who actually wears the suit is a wimpy white guy.
Yeah, I did read that somewhere where they said that they brought James Earl Jones to do the Darth Vader voice because the guy who was in the suit, his voice wasn't sinister enough for that character. So they basically they tested out his voice and they said, we don't really like the sound of your voice. We'll keep you in the suit, but we're going to bring in somebody with a more threatening and menacing sounding voice to just do the voiceover. And then that's when they brought in James Earl Jones to do the voiceover, and that's pretty much how that all happened.
But basically, ironically, our voices are even dangerous. Did y'all see the Luke Cage trailer? Anyone in the chat room? I know you just talked about it on Twitter, Terrain.
Yeah, I saw it. I can't wait to see what they'll do with this upcoming season because I think they said it's only 8 episodes, which I'm not mad at.
8 episodes?
Yeah. Instead of 13.
Oh, I also heard that the directors, there's a couple directors that are female, including a couple that are actually black females.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And what do you think about the new villain, Bushmaster? There's actually 2 versions of him, and I think they're going by the first one. Because I can't tell which version of Bushmaster are they going by. The first one, which I kind of forgot, and then the second version is basically ends up getting his legs cut off in the comic books and has them with a snake's tail, and he ends up joining the Serpent Society.
I never knew anything about his character until yesterday when I watched this. So I have to do a little bit more research on him. But somebody did point out to me that notice that the three villains that we've had so far, well, the three main villains we've had so far, with that show are all named after snakes.
Yes, that's what the group, the Serpent Society, was about. They were based off of snakes. There's different versions of the Serpent Society, but the popular one, they wear they wear these costumes, and basically they have these special abilities, and they're named after different snakes. There's Cottonmouth, Diamondback, Bushmaster, Asp, Cobra, Anaconda, and I forgot a couple others.
Oh, okay.
I have a encyclopedia of Marvel heroes.
Hmm.
So I'm figuring, are they setting up to do the Serpent Society and a possible season of any of the Marvel Netflix shows?
I have no clue what they're about to do on their end, because that's like completely separate from the films. Like they're like a separate entity. They're together, but they're not together.
Yeah, I understand. They were thinking of putting some of the TV characters in the Infinity War at first, but they decided, nah, we're not going to do it. Which will be good. Well, at least if they at least put Luke Cage in there, he would look like the better suited one.
Who knows what the future holds? But I think they're trying to keep it separate.
I mean, yeah, they're in the same universe, but yeah, I guess they wanted to do their own thing with different characters, but it's still all in the same universe, unlike the X-Men. Which, by the way, the so-called chance for Marvel Studios to try to get the X-Men and Fantastic Four characters right now might be in jeopardy.
I heard something about Comcast like trying to throw their bid in.
Yes, cash bids up to $60 million or $1 billion, which is higher than the deal that Disney was going for. The real reason why Comcast is trying to do that is because they really want is Sky. It's a media conglomerate in the United Kingdom, which could help Comcast get a whole bunch of channels in the UK if they can get it. But even if they have more money, Murdoch might not take the deal because his sons were rumored to want to go to Disney after the deal was done, in the case that Bob Iger finally leaves Disney in the future. And as you know, Murdoch does not really like the president of Comcast, especially with the fact that one of them supports Trump and the other one doesn't. I mean, Bob Iger...
Billionaire problems.
Yeah, Bob Iger has some issues with the president, but he was willing to work with him at one time until he left. The so-called business thing in which Trump shut down. And also, they're also waiting on the decision involving the AT&T Time Warner deal. Because
there's a lot going on.
Yes. The worst evolving with media right now is the net neutrality situation, in which both Comcast and AT&T support that stupidity repeal by that idiot a deep pie, or say a shit pie. That's what I call that idiot. Y'all heard that the reason why no changes have happened yet is because Comcast still has to wait till September for a clause to expire called the no throttling, no block clause. Right now, people are trying to fight it in court and trying to get the Congress to sign this thing called the CRA to basically help reverse some of the damage done by Ajit Pai's repeal of net neutrality. There's even states now trying to put their own net neutrality state laws to protect net neutrality. So yeah, you might want to call your government officials to try to at least get state laws put in to wherever you live to get them to do state laws until this whole thing can be dealt with.
Not to shift gears a little bit, but what did you think of that? And Lisa Cabrera posted it up on her channel yesterday, and it blew my mind when I saw it. What did you think of that volcano that erupted?
They're talking about the possibility of the island splitting. Splitting. They already began evacuations.
I couldn't live in. I mean, I would go visit Hawaii, but I couldn't live there.
Me either.
Because of that. But this is my first time actually seeing a volcano in real time. Because usually whenever I saw a volcano, it was always in a movie or something like that. But to actually see it actually happen, and when she showed that video of the lava swallowing up the car, that was wild to see.
Yeah, I've seen the Tommy Lee Jones movie or Dalton Peak and stuff. And get ready because you'll be seeing that if y'all plan to see the upcoming Jurassic World movie that comes out next month.
I remember where I'm at right now. I remember a couple of years ago, there was a volcano that had, not a volcano, an earthquake that had occurred, and it blew me away. Like, it kind of scared me a little bit because I never, on the East Coast, we don't deal with earthquakes. That's usually something that's done on the West Coast. So that kind of like scared me for a little bit, but now it lets me know that we are over a fault.
Yeah, I know that because I bet you that's the same earthquake that we felt here in Virginia.
Yeah, most likely is the same one.
My grandparents, they felt it in North Carolina.
Yeah, it said it was like, it started like all the way, like, you know, and I think they said it started in Virginia and then it ran all the way up the entire East Coast.
Yeah, but they said that I think the fault line might not be as bad as the West Coast fault line.
Oh yeah, most definitely not. Nah. But now we know that we are on a fault line. And the thing is about earthquakes, unlike hurricanes and tornadoes, there's no warning. If it happens, it just happens.
Yeah.
Hood Mistress said there was a earthquake that happened in SoCal this morning. Well, I hope everybody's all right over in SoCal. I didn't hear anything about it on the news. This is my first time hearing about it.
Mm.
Because basically all the earthquake is doing is basically the Earth's core just shifting. That's basically all it is.
Yeah, probably because of all the damage that's being done to it.
Yeah, most likely. And we know who is responsible for that damage.
Yes. Yet, they want to put regulations. People are very angry at the EPA right now. They are pissed off at Scott Pruitt and the EPA right now because he's causing half this damage by the the dumb deregulations. They're trying to get rid of science. I'm like, you're getting rid of science? They're just doing that because they're trying to support the business companies that are polluting. Right now, there's this thing called the Virginia tree protest going on. Yeah. And then, of course, there's the Standing Rock protest. People stealing lands, especially those who work for these oil companies, so they can build these pipelines.
All about greed. It's all about that money at the end of the day.
Yes, and they said that some of these pipelines already had oil spills, but they're still trying to protect the pipelines and kick the people out. It's basically the Native Americans are going through their own version of gentrification, just as we are, only ours is just an economic issue. Yeah. Theirs is basically an environment issue.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the video where, and I forgot who it was that talked about it. Actually, I think me and Bitter Truth so talked about it in his live stream last night. And this is for you and people in the chat. Did y'all see that video where this guy was in the convenience store and he was purchasing a pack of Mentos, and the guy behind him was an undercover cop and immediately pulled out his gun and was prepared to shoot him because he thought he was about to steal him?
No, I haven't.
And the clerk was sitting right there counting out the change or the money that he got from the guy. And it's like that. See, that's why they said they are too trigger happy. This guy was ready and prepared to shoot this guy over a pack of Mentos.
To tell you the truth, that's one of the reasons why I don't smoke cigarettes, period. That and health reasons. Or the fact that I just don't like smoking.
Exactly, Antoine. He was an off-duty cop. He wasn't, because he didn't have his uniform on. He was off-duty. So there was no way that they would have known he was a cop until he had announced that that's who he was.
I'm telling you right now, that's why we need to start building our own businesses and stuff, or at least promoting the ones we do have.
Now, here's the now, I didn't mean to cut you off. Now, here's the interesting thing, and I purposely left this out for a reason. The person he pulled this gun out on wasn't black. This was I guess you could say,
you know what? I think I know what you're talking about. I think it was an Asian person.
Huh?
I think it was an Asian person.
I don't know if he was Asian or not. I know he wasn't black. I'll just say that.
But that is interesting.
What's going on, True Royal?
Hey, come on the chat. Oh, I watched one of True Royal's chats with where she had this panel that even had her son. It was a very amazing chat panel.
I put the link in this, so hopefully she'll see it. But yeah, when I saw that video, and I was like, okay. I said, now they know what it's like to have the gun instantly pulled out on us. But see, the thing is, why do I have the biggest feeling that if the person was black who was in this position, they probably would have splattered his brains all over that counter.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Yeah, this is why we need to start supporting the businesses we do have and make more. As you know, I've been going back doing videos again on my channels, and maybe one of the few things I might do in the future is look up businesses on news articles to see what businesses are going on and maybe talk about them more. Mm-hmm. I even have this app called this Black Wall Street app, where if you happen to be nearby a black-owned business, it actually notifies that you're near near a black-owned business, even if you don't go inside.
Well, that's dope. What's the name of the app?
Black Wall Street. Just look for it on the App Store. Mine is look this little yellow symbol that says BWS.
Okay, I found it. I see it.
Just hit like the notification button or anything else. Say that you allow notifications and stuff, and basically, if you're near black-owned businesses, it will notify on your iPhone or any other mobile phone that you have. So yeah, that's the one things we need to start doing. We need to start doing stuff like this. See if there's any businesses that are black-owned that are nearby. I mean, even if you don't go to them, maybe we still learn about them, even if it does not have to do with the business you're doing right now, and maybe at least try to tell people about them if they happen to live in your area as well. And then, of course, the most important thing is to start supporting them, start putting money into our businesses, like start putting money also to our social media platforms like Black Junction TV and Black Spot TV. You know that the website is up now for Black Spot TV. I actually have a couple videos on Black Spot TV.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen it. I've seen it.
Yeah. But he still needs the money. He still needs more money, and so does BlackJunction.tv. They need a lot of money on GoFundMe so that they can start setting up to do live streams on their platform. They need $25,000. They're still at the 2000s.
That's unfortunate. Yes,
Yeah.
Royal, I did get the shirt. I actually I'm trying to think. Did I mention that? Yeah, I mentioned it in my video on Friday, the last video I had did before I had took my little break. Yes, I did get the shirt, and I love it. I like it. Well worth the wait.
Here's another story I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
The college students. They were celebrating their graduation, and they're just being dragged away by that official. I saw the video, and I'm looking at articles. I'm looking at the Young Turks. I'm looking at Lisa Cabrera. They're talking maybe your videos, and they're talking about this incident where these people are being pushed away because they're celebrating too long.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw the clip. That's actually one of the things I wanted to talk about on here anyway, but you brought it up.
Oh, you know what? There's another story that you might like. Now, unfortunately, the bad news involves a guy getting kicked out, not being able to use a coupon for a pizza place. But the ending is kind of good. Now, here's what happened. This black guy was trying to use a coupon at a pizza place, but the pizza place would not accept it. Mm-hmm. So he gives it to his roommate, who was a white male, gave him the coupon, but yet the pizza place was starting to accept the coupon, and the white was kind of unhappy with it either. He was very shocked that they would allow it, and then the pizza place found out that the two are roommates. So of course the pizza place did a usual apology and basically wanted to try to invite him for free food. And you know what the black guy said?
What's that?
I heard that he said, "Nah, I'm good," and he didn't come back.
Well, good for him.
That's something that those two idiots with the $2 settlement should have done. At least something like that.
That was pathetic. That was sad. Now that was sad.
Yeah, the pizza guy had more bravery than those two Starbucks guys. That's why I'm still boycotting the place, regardless of the so-called training.
Hey, keep on
No,
talking. I gotta go to the restaurant right quick. Keep talking.
I'm like this. The as you know, y'all heard about the Starbucks training and stuff like that, and the settlement that the two guys got. I'm like, what? I'm like, you're not gonna sue or you're not gonna boycott the place. And then to top it off, there's this agreement for $200 million for entrepreneurs. And I'm like, what young entrepreneurs? You know, they're really just gonna find a poor white school to do that and not a lot of black students. They're gonna feel stupid about it. I kind of can't read the comment section.
What's that?
Oh, I was just talking about how they want to do a program for $2 million for young entrepreneurs. The Starbucks situation.
Yeah,
I'm like,
when I was talking about that, I said exactly who are they going to give that? Who are the entrepreneurs they are going to give that to? They didn't specify who. They left it so broad, and I think I know why. I think I can read between the lines of what they're trying to say.
yeah, but you're not going to at least control. You're not going to at least try to get control on which entrepreneurs they're thinking of. You're not going to have control of that. If I was going to do something like that, I'm going to have control on who's going to get that money too. So it won't be the company. I'm going to have to do some controlling myself. Like, nah, you first of all, you give me more money, and I decide which entrepreneurs you could give the money to show that you're not BSing people.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, is the professor still in here? It looks like the Vice show is about to go live.
Oh, I don't know. Like, it's just that he's been on mute for like the last couple of minutes, so I'm about to drop him from the panel.
Oh, I was hoping he would want to say some things.
Yeah, because it's just been me and you for like the last almost hour.
Oh, yeah. I've actually been walking outside lately. I'm about to head over home right now.
Okay.
Looks like I'm the only one. Looks like my parent is still walking, and my sister hasn't got back home from work yet either.
I wanted to go back to the students who graduated and how they were like pushing them off the stage. And I was like, you know, I read through some of the comments, and then of course you had the colonizer in there saying what they say usually. They say, well, that's not a time and a place to really be celebrating and everything. Like, I'm like,
hold on.
I said, do you know what they had to go through in order to get to that point? And if they want to have their moment, have their moment. But then again, when I graduated from college, it was outside on the football field. So once we got our degree and walked off the stage and walked back to our seats, and we had to walk on the field to get back to our seats, we were able to celebrate right there in that little open space. So,
you know what? That's when I wanted to talk to you about. I was watching the Young Turks video, and there was more information that I got about that incident. They said that they had witnesses where there was white people doing blackface, and they were not touched. And then the principal or dean or whatever tried to make a fake apology.
Mm-hmm. Of course, they listen. Oh, before I go any further, to the people that's in the chat, I posted the link to the app that J-Dog was talking about, the Black Wall Street app. I posted the link for those who have an Android, and I posted the link for those who have an iPhone. So if you haven't done so already, you can go ahead and download those apps depending on what devices you have. But go ahead.
Yeah, it was just. I'm like, now we know the race that there's race involved in this. I bet you that Dean was really mad is the fact that he had black people graduate. Period. I
Yeah,
bet you if they were not.
they are very good at giving so-called apologies. That's why I don't take their apologies as genuine. I always say this in a lot of my videos. Do not accept their apologies as genuine apologies. A lot of them are because they get caught or somebody has exposed them.
And just like don't be accepting these little minor settlements. That's basically hush money. Unless, of course, you're gonna really get something out of it, and it's gonna be in a way that it's gonna be invested in something greater. Unless, of course, you have something greater that's gonna come out of it. Because basically, what they're giving you is hush money. If
Exactly.
it's $1 billion company. Now, I expect that if something great is gonna come out of it for black people, but what happened with is with the Starbucks and stuff. That's just basically they're just trying to get this out of the way, and then you have the black guys saying it's not a race issue; it's a people issue.
That's when I was completely done after that. In True Royal Family, she called that before it even got to that point.
Well, I know with the non-black guy getting pulled by a gun, or even happening to some people, most of this stuff has been happening to black people. So how can you say it's a people issue when the only people it's really been affecting is the black community? Yeah, it's a people issue, a black people's issue.
That's because they too scared to call it what it is. Me, if I was in that situation, but see, I don't go to Starbucks, so I wouldn't allow myself to be put in that position. But let's just hypothetically say that I am. I would tell it like it is. A lot of people, a lot of black people, unfortunately, today are scared to keep it real and tell it like it is. This was their opportunity to say that they could have really had Starbucks by the balls. Like they
and that's why a lot of
literally had the biggest coffee chain in the world. They said Starbucks is the biggest coffee chain in the world, bigger than Dunkin' Donuts. They could have literally had the narrative all work in their favor, and they let it slip through their fingers. And I think what even makes it more upsetting is that you have some other black people who actually agree with what they decided to do.
okay, that's what made it worse. I'm just opening the door for my mother. She's coming in from her workout. But yeah, that's what makes it worse.
What's going on, Leo Johnson? Did you hear about speaking of black people being profiled? Did you
I'm
hear
on a
about
chat. I'm on a table.
did
Sorry, I
you
was just
hear
talking
about
to my
the
mother.
huh?
I'm just talking to my mother.
Oh, okay. Did y'all hear about the boys in Nordstrom? Lisa Cabrera had did a video about that earlier today about how they were profiled pretty much in Nordstrom when one of the workers they had claimed they were trying to steal because I think two of them were shopping for prom, like getting their prom suits or tuxes or whatever, and they accused them of trying to shoplift.
You know what?
And it was three of them, and they tried to. I said, "Wow, y'all went for all the probably the only three black people that's probably in the store at the time, or the three black people they could see at the store that at the time." I said one of the biggest mistakes they made, besides going into that store, was still purchasing the items that they got accused of stealing.
No, I'm in a Google Hangout. No, they're talking about stories, different stories and stuff. No, he was just still talking. No. Uh,
But yeah, like I had saw that earlier today. I said like the biggest mistake they made besides going in there was definitely purchasing the items. I would have just left and went to another store. But I'm also trying to figure out where did they go to school at? Were they just now shopping for their prom? Because isn't like for most people, isn't prom this month anyway? Who saw the video that I just recently did involving Andrea Constand's mother? The one I said that looks like she stirs her cauldron down in her basement, in her dungeon. That woman, I swear, she looks like the only way her only viable form of transportation is on a broomstick. But yeah, it all pretty much came out that she pretty much hated black people's guts. She was like saying that this conviction of Bill Cosby was going to be a revenge on all black people. And when you look at her and then you look at Andre Constant, we definitely see who she pulls from in the looks department, who genes she definitely passed on, or who she got them from. But basically, her daughter, Andrea Constant, I guess had some kind of a fling, if you want to call it that, because I highly doubt it was a relationship with Steve Nash, the basketball player, back in the day. And Steve Nash ended up dipping into the chocolate. And Andrea Constand's mother did not like that. She hated the fact that this white man had the nerve to not want to be with her white daughter and left her daughter, shoot, I probably had it right because she do look like a man, her daughter for a black woman. And if you look at the link that I posted under the video at the black woman that Steve Nash is, I'm trying to think, I don't know if that's his wife or an ex, but I'm willing to bet that maybe his wife, I'm not sure. She looks a whole hell of a lot better than Andrea Constant could ever wish she looked. And she got upset by that. So that's pretty much how the whole thing kicked off. So she had to find a way to make black people pay for that. And how did she do that? By going after America's favorite dad and using her daughter to do it.
I saw this in the Nicole's video. I mean, the Nicole's View video. Basically, she looked at a news article of the guy that was supposed to have testified on the behalf of Bill Cosby. But do you know what the judge did? They canceled his testimony. They did not want him to testify because they said it would tamper with the decision of the jury. I'm like, he's a witness for the defense. He's supposed to be allowed to tell his side of the story. He's working with the defense. He's supposed to help because even the defendant has witnesses that could vouch for them. That's what's supposed to happen. And the judge just says that no, you can't testify, you can't help Bill Cosby. But yet these other witnesses who are not even involved in the case can do that.
And then they had a whole bunch of liars up on that stand too, and they allowed them to testify.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, they didn't want him up on the stand because they knew through his testimony that would have shifted the whole case. They often do that a lot when it comes to these type of trials.
especially when it involves black people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially when it involves black people. They knew that there was lying by at least some of those witnesses, and because Anna Nicole's view, Nicole, she lives there and she went to the court cases.
Yeah, I
and,
remember she went. I remember her going to the trial. Maybe not every single day, but she went often, and
and she
she would always come back and tell us what she heard.
and the worst part was the jury. Of the 12 people in the jury, 12 white, 2 black, and even the black people agreed. I'm like, and then Nicole, she went in on the 2 black jurors.
Hmm.
And then one of the jurors ended up on The View, and he did not look like Bill Cosby's pure. He looked like a young man. I'm like, the jury of the pure, wouldn't it be peers? Wouldn't it have been maybe someone of Bill Cosby's age that actually survived, was around when Cosby was actually in his prime? Except you got this young guy who probably doesn't know who Bill Cosby even is, or watched his work, or even know about the case.
Mm-hmm. That was the whole point. That's why I knew when they kept pushing the dates back for the trial to actually start, because it was supposed to start in November, and then when Bill Cosby had announced that Tom Mesereau would be his attorney, they kept pushing the date back because they had to strategize how to do what they just recently did. They probably didn't even think that they were going to get a guilty conviction out of this. They probably was just going with the flow and hoping that a guilty conviction would come. They didn't go into this trial, this next one, knowing that he was going to be found guilty. They were hoping he would be.
They were probably expecting at least another hung jury again,
Yeah.
especially with the jurors that they had. And then when you had them celebrate his conviction, you of course the usual suspects would be celebrating, but they had to bring some certain people out there to to be part of the celebration just so they can use them.
Yeah, like, and it was so crazy because when I had reported about it when they first announced the verdict, the first article that I came across was when they said Bill Cosby's conviction is the first big win for the Me Too movement. I said, these heifers here. I said they brought that whole Me Too thing back into fruition after it was created back in 2007 and nobody knew or cared about it because it was created by a black woman, but then it got hijacked, and it literally did. And then they changed it name to Time's Up or whatever. And then they said this was the first big win for them, even though they brought it back under the whole Harvey Weinstein thing, and he still hasn't even had his day in court.
I know.
But then you had Lisa Bloom, who came out and said she would defend him, and then tried to backtrack on what she said. Notice they don't talk about that anymore.
Yeah, I noticed that. What they're really trying to do, and you hear this from Mr. Superboy, is they're trying to make black men the face of the whole sexual assault situation. Unfortunately for them, it's failing is because Me Too are still going after a lot of the white people, even though if they're not getting convicted or going to trial, they're still going after white people.
Right.
They just went after Charles Rose, and they recently just went after a district attorney just recently, just like today. This guy is rumored to resign. It's supposed to be.
I actually did a video about him. I'm gonna upload it, but we can talk about it on here though.
Yes, basically, it's the New York District Attorney or Attorney General or something like that.
His last name begins with an S.
I kind of forgot his name, but it's another person. Uh, and it happens to be another white person.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like they're not going to change this to they're actually failing trying to make black people the face of it, because if they keep continuing going after white people, they're not going to make us the face of it. Now they going after R. Kelly and maybe even Chris Brown. Well, Chris Brown didn't really sexual assault anyone, not that we know of. But of course, they're trying to go after R. Kelly next.
Yeah.
The reason why it's taking so
that's why they had created that hashtag on Twitter called Mute R. Kelly. I'm not sure if you saw that.
Yes. But the thing is, the women, they are for R. Kelly. The women at that cult are for R. Kelly. They're not against him. They only got maybe one or two. And now I'm hearing that the couple that are against R. Kelly are trying to do a documentary on Lifetime. I bet you they'll get someone like Wendy Williams to do it, because you remember she was the one that did the Aaliyah story.
I didn't watch that crap.
I didn't either, but I heard that she went heavy on the R. Kelly situation involving Aaliyah.
I heard about that, but I didn't watch the movie because she was behind it, and I was like, that was a disrespect to her. And speaking of people who are just a menace to society, George Zimmerman, or as I say, George Killerman, is back in the news yet again, because this time he is stalking somebody else. I forgot who it was, and I just remember
private investigator.
A private investigator. I wanted to call him a district attorney so bad. The private investigator, because they're supposed to be working on a documentary for Trayvon Martin, and they said that George Killerman called this private investigator a whole bunch of times and texted him just as many times as he called. So it was like, but you know what? The jurors in that case, I blame them, because at the end of the day, the people who could decide George Killerman's fate lied in their hands. So I blame them. I hope they can't sleep at night, even to this day. And now they charged him with stalking, like basically like excessive stalking. And I think they said that he's going to court next month. And something tells me he's going to walk away from that too. If this guy can walk away from harassing another person and that person shot at him, and the person, by the way, got sentenced to 20 years in jail for defending himself, he can easily walk away from this.
I know. Another thing was the guy who got 20 years was a white person. A white person.
Mm-hmm.
So that's telling you why a bunch of black gangsters, Town Business was telling the people and the black people of Florida, why haven't y'all had your gangs go after George Zimmerman at least? And I'm like, well, when a white guy who would had white privilege try to get at him, got 20 years, some of those black people ain't going to try to go after George Zimmerman unless, of course, they knew a way to get away with it or not be caught by the cops.
Because they probably got George Zimmerman in some kind of gated area or some undisclosed location. So he had to call this private investigator and text them a whole bunch of times. And he didn't have to be out in the open to do that.
I know.
He could have been in his house and did that.
Someone's protecting him. And it's probably someone within Florida's state government or officials is protecting Zimmerman. They probably have him in some kind of witness protection. That's probably why they convicted that guy 20 years. They do not want George Zimmerman to die yet or go to jail, because they want him to be prancing around so he can taunt black people like Jay-Z. But at least Jay-Z, went and clapped back at him and even did a diss song on him.
Remember when he said he wanted to fight Floyd Mayweather? Remember that? I
thought that was.
I said, huh? At first, when I saw that, I thought he was like that was just somebody playing around. I was like, he didn't say that, but it turns out that he was. I was like, a lot of people may not like Floyd Mayweather, but they'll love him if he beat the crap out of George Zimmerman.
I heard DMX at one time was gonna fight him. I'm like, really? You're going after a boxer now? You're going after someone who can actually defend himself? You better have some powerful fighting skills. Which I hope he doesn't.
Yes, Cayman. Zimmerman's dad is a judge. He has a lot of family members who are wrapped up in the system. That's why he feels he can do and say and act the way that he wants.
Yeah, but there are some
he's like the walking definition of privilege at this point.
Yeah, but I heard that he had some family members that were kind of against him too. Like a cousin who claimed that he molested her, and that one time she actually ran out of the house. So he has family members that are against him too.
I heard about the molestation one. But yeah, he's trash. Always has been and always will be.
Yeah. He's gonna get karma eventually. Someone will be brave enough to deal with him. It's gonna happen. It may not happen today, tomorrow, next year, or next lifetime, but it's gonna happen.
And it's crazy because when I look back, when the trial happened and how he pretty much walked away from it, because that's basically what it was. All the supporters that he had back then and how a lot of them changed their tune now after seeing how he is today. I'm like, well, your support, like y'all only saying that because it was a black child that he killed. But now that you see who he truly is, now you want to backtrack on what your original stance was. I said you can't have it both ways.
No, you can't. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You created this mess, and the media, they should be the ones to be even a bigger shame, especially Fox News. They dirtied up Trayvon Martin's reputation. The family should have tried to sue the media. That's what I would have done if my reputation would have been destroyed. Bill Cosby should have done this too. Said that you're dirtying up my reputation. You keep doing that with no proof and no evidence. I will sue you even if I'm guilty. That's called defame. Defame is called slandering. You're still slandering my name, and you can be sued. Freedom of the press will not protect you from being sued, and that's exactly what should have happened to the media.
Yeah. It's unfortunate all the way around, but they won't change their tune until it actually happens to them. But then, of course, that's only going to be for their benefit.
Yes, like the Parkland shooting.
Perfect example. Now they want to talk about and scream about gun control and whatnot because it happened to them. Well, shoot, I'm wondering why they didn't scream about that sooner. Because when it comes to those school shootings, it's usually in mostly a white dominant school anyway.
I know.
It's like, what was so special about this one?
I guess they couldn't take it no more. Well, they can't. We reason why we don't have shootings like that. We go the black communities, especially the poor ones, they go through that. They understand. They know what it's like to go through that. But it's just because their community doesn't go through it as much, they all of a sudden can't stand it. Just 2 hours, they all of a sudden can't stand it. Where our people, we've been through years and still have not um don't do what they're doing.
Hmm. Trying to see what else is there to talk about. Like I said, there's so much that has happened in the past week.
Hmm. Um.
Oh, I can talk about this one. And this is something I did. It was something I talked about last week. With it was three black girls who were part of this competition to go visit the NASA. Trying to think, it was a program for NASA, and it happened in DC. And I had talked about it last week. It happened in DC, and they had to basically vote to see who would win to go to that facility. And the girls had 78% of the vote. Basically, they were winning. They had to cut the voting process off because the system was hacked by these white supremacists, and they were stealing away their votes.
I know. It's like they're trying. It's like basically what 2016 happened with the Democratic primary being rigged and stuff like that. Um, Basically, is they do not want us to achieve in certain fields. They want us to basically be the athlete. I mean, there's no problem with being an athlete. It's better than being a criminal or a music artist. That's better than being a criminal. But it's just these days, some black people want to be in more fields now because they realize that if you're not in more field, if more of our people are not in certain fields, we might not be able to thrive as far. So
Right.
we're now starting to get into more fields like technology. Otherwise, we wouldn't have Black Spot. And then, of course, you had the movie Hidden Figures and stuff like that. And we're trying to get into more of the movie industry, which I kind of wanted to talk about as well, especially on my channels
They
about
basically
upcoming
want
black
us.
movies.
They basically want us pigeonholed into a certain demographic that they feel that we stereotype the most, which is mostly sports or some form of entertainment.
Yeah. I bet you are. That's why some people really did not like Black Panther's success because involved the behind the scenes was black writers and a black director. I kind of I
And
know this is kind of off topic,
mm-hmm.
but I also kind of wanted to talk about upcoming black movies that are coming up. But yeah, but first let's go back to the girls. They were inventing something. They actually had, like you said on your video, they had 70% of the votes. So they were winning.
Mm-hmm.
And then the hackers, when they got caught, they were like, because you're you're voting them on race but not merit and blah 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 and stuff. I'm like, that's what you people do. You The reason why you win stuff is because of what you are, not what you've done.
Exactly.
We've done a lot for this country, but we don't get the credit.
That's why I say when it comes to that patent office, it probably has a lot of black inventions in there that they didn't get any credit for because they were stolen.
Yes, especially because the fact that they were slaves that had to invent this stuff to work on the fields and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully they did win or they took that into consideration like that. But not only that, even though they were winning, it also by them shutting the voting system off, that took away from anyone else possibly getting any votes that they could have possibly got because who knows what the outcome could have been. So that actually shortchanged a lot the other contestants as well.
Yes, that could also basically change some people's minds about the votes. It could even hurt some white people that are competing. I'll bet you they didn't think that through. They were just too focused on trying to make sure that the black women lose.
Right.
Speaking of voting, we probably talked about it on the chat room. I did a video on the MTV Movie Awards. I'm going to check to see if the thing is still open. And according to this, it's still open. So if you have not voted, tell your people in the chat room if they still haven't voted yet for the MTV Movie Awards to basically, come down and show up so they can support the Black Panther so they can win some awards. The award show is supposed to happen on June 18th with the host being Tiffany Haddish.
Hey J Dog, kind of back away from your mic a little bit because you're kind of like it's kind of muffled when you speak too close to it.
I'm actually on my iPhone talking, but I'm gonna take it back away.
Oh, okay. Now it sounds more clear.
Yeah. I'm on the website right now. I'm going to see if I want to change maybe a couple votes or not. But oh, you know what? I'm actually on my computer watching this thing too, so you might hear some echo and stuff like that. Just trying to find yeah. I stopped it for now, but I am looking at the chat room. That's because I wanted to look at the chat room. I'm just going to turn the volume off on the computer so I'll just only hear the phone and my headphones and still look at the chat room on the computer. But yeah, like I said, I hope the girls win. Now, as for the award show that I'm looking at, I'm hoping that people will come on. I actually can give a link to the website if on the chat in the chat room if y'all want me to. So if y'all decide on the chat room if y'all want to vote, y'all can try to vote. What do you think about that, Terrain?
You can go ahead and leave the link in there. It's up to them if they want to vote or not.
Now you'll see right now I'm on my YouTube channel. I'm going by one of my accounts, JDog Live. That's an actually new account I just created. So let me go to my JDog8807 because that's the one where you kind of mod me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is one of my newest channels.
If y'all didn't catch what he was saying, he left a link for
MTV.
It says MTV for the movie. I think it's the MTV Movie and TV Awards because Black Panther is nominated for I think they got like the most nominations from what I saw.
Yes, that and Stranger Things. Yeah, they're getting a lot of nominations, and I actually talked about this on one of my videos. So yeah, check if y'all haven't subscribed to my channel, please go to my channel, subscribe, and notification. And if you look at my list of videos, I do talk about the importance of why you should vote in some of these award shows, especially when the entertainment, whether it be television or movie, um, involves black entertainment. If we want to really improve our way in the entertainment industry, we also need to improve that our movies can be award winning and highly critically reviewed. We also need to start participating, even if it is a quote unquote white show. Because that way it shows that our entertainment is being watched and being supported, especially by us.
But to be honest, let's just hypothetically say that Black Panther, they nominated for all these awards and they didn't win one award. I wouldn't be upset because the movie has already won as far as a cultural aspect, as far as breaking records and of course making a lot of money. And of course changing the shape of many people's careers who were involved in that movie who we probably never seen before in our lives or probably haven't been in anything that big. So technically the movie, in my honest opinion, awards or not, which let's be real here, is going to win some things, is already won as far as getting people to talk about it. It's still the movie is still in the top 10 in the box office right now, and they released the digital copy of it today. The Blu-ray comes out next week. The movie's been out since February and has not fell out of the top 10 yet.
Yes.
So the movie, like I said, is winning in other aspects.
Let's put it that way. There's 3 different box office platforms. You have the weekend, the daily weekend, then you have the worldwide of all time gross, and then you have the different region or countries domestic box office. For the USA and Canada domestic box office, we are the Black Panther is the 3rd highest grossing film. For the worldwide of all, and this is of all time. That means all years. We are still the number when it comes to just 2018. We are number 1 for highest grossing film of 2018 in both domestic box office for the United States and the worldwide box office, which might end up changing with how Avengers Infinity War goes. Now, for the worldwide box office growth of time, we are in the Black Panther is in 9th place, but that can also change depending on the amount of money that other movies, in particular Infinity War, makes, as it's about to go in and about to be released in China. I also, in a couple of my videos, talk about the critical reviews, why we need to use websites like Rotten Tomatoes, have accounts, and put in reviews and ratings so that it can increase its approval rating. Why that's important. Black Panther has a 96 approval rating by critics and a 79% approval rating by audiences. I talked about that in a couple of videos that I made and why that's important too. Because movie studios, magazines, and even the actors and the directors and stuff, they see this stuff. They go to these websites and look at this stuff. Matter of fact, let me look at Black Panther's approval ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. 96 certified fresh by critics and the tomato meter, 79 by the audience score. And you know what? Another thing, Terrain, you can still score right now And if enough people put positive reviews right now, even if the movie is no longer in theaters, the grades can go either up or down. Because when I was looking at Luke Cage's for season one, and then because it's a TV show, it will have a TV show will have separate for each season, and then they will tally up the reviews of each of the seasons and put a maximum score. Luke Cage's maximum score was originally 95 approval rating by critics and 78 by audiences. And the Luke Cage show came out in 2016.
Hey, J-Dog, your mic is sounding muffled again.
Oh, sorry about that. All right, but like I said, Luke Cage had a 95% approval rating in 2016 when it first came out. In 2018, in February, it went down to 93.
At the end of the day, Luke Cage actually shut down Netflix. What other show has done that?
None. Not even Stranger Things. And Stranger Things is its most popular show. You know what? I'm looking at the Luke Cage thing right now. It just bumped up by critics. The average tomato meter is now at 94. That means the critics must have came on sometime this month or last month, and it's bumped up because of the approval rating. By the amount of critics that were able to get its approval rating up. This grading system at Rotten Tomatoes, once a movie or show is on there, the grading system continues for life. It can go up and down at any time forever. It never stops. It depends on the amount of people who have accounts of Rotten Tomatoes and view these movies. I figured that could be kind of important. We need to really do stuff like this, take advantage of these things so we can really help improve our black entertainment, movies, television, and stuff like that. Just these little things. And we can't just do it with Black Panther or Luke Cage. We also need to do it for Black Lightning, for shows like Atlanta, and we also need to do it for upcoming movies that are involving black or worked on by blacks.
Your audio is still muffled. Are you talking? It sounds like you're talking too close to the mic.
You know what? It might be this microphone that I have on my computer. I just disconnected.
All right.
Is it clearer now?
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to just do these little things to help support on our black entertainment. As you know, there's a bunch of upcoming movies and shows that are being worked on, not just starring black people, but are being worked on behind the scenes by black people, other than Luke Cage season 2. On July 6th, the same day that Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out, you know the guy that's in both Get Out and Atlanta?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know what movie you're talking about. I know what movie you're talking about now. Called Sorry to Bother You.
Yes.
And that's like I think that's like is that like an independent film? It looks like it's an independent movie.
Yes. And the movie right now by critics has some good reviews on it.
Because I think it was at one of those film festivals. It do look like an interesting movie though. And it looks like one of those original type movies, and I think that's a movie that a lot of black people could relate to, especially those who work in a corporate setting where it's heavily white dominated, and they might be one of the few black faces that are working there.
Yes. And then there's the whole thing about talking white and acting white just to get ahead.
Yeah. That's basically like that whole code switch type of thing.
Yes. It's when they have to have no choice but to use the coon code to basically get ahead or to even just work to survive. That's what this movie is talking about, and I'm really interested in it. And it's supposed to be a sci-fi film. It also has Tessa Thompson and Terry Crews, and even the guy that was in the white guy that was in Birth by Nation, that was also in Lone Ranger. I think it's Artie or something like that.
I know who you're
Something.
talking
Yeah. Um, and then of course, another movie that's coming out in August is that the Black Klansman that's directed by Spike Lee, and it's supposed to have,
I had talked about that, I think last year when he first announced it.
yes, Jordan Peele is one of the producers. The star of the movie, one of the stars, is supposed to be one of Denzel Washington's sons.
John Washington.
Yes. And it even has Adam Driver, the same guy who plays Kylo Ren in Star Wars. He's supposed to be in the movie too. That comes out in August. In fact, it's supposed to be in a film festival in France called the Cannes Festival. So it might get its early reviews through that festival. And it comes out in August. And then, of course, you have Creed 2. It's going to be under a black director, but not Ryan Coogler. It's going to be under a different black director, but it does have Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson and Sylvester Stallone, and the guy who plays the Russian.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to be in this movie, and according to this, that character Drago.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He's supposed to have a son in this movie to fight Michael B. Jordan's character. Right. Oh, sorry about that. I kind of looks like I got something to do. Hey, I'm about to go about now. Maybe we could talk about this in another live stream.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm glad you was able to hop on.
Yeah, that's good. Maybe I might do that in one of my live streams.
Okay, because I can tell that you're really into film.
Yeah.
I can tell, especially black film, whether it's mainstream or independent.
Yeah, I mean, I just watch films in general, but I'm starting to get more into black films and why it's important.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
All right. Thank you.
Cayman, yeah, I did see that. It says Michael B. Jordan is going to be in the new version of Fahrenheit 451. I forgot that comes on this month. Time just flying by so fast. I never read the book, but I heard that the book was very interesting, was very good. Hey, Nicole, do you want to come into the live stream? But I heard that the book itself was very controversial too. Like I heard it was a very, very controversial piece of literature. But the movie does look good. I'll have to check on right now. Oh, you on the plantation? Oh, never mind. I forgot you out on the West Coast. So everybody's still quote unquote on the plantation right now. Just tell them you going on a long bathroom break. Well, what else do y'all want to talk about for those of you who are still here? Okay, you say you about to be off in like 10 minutes. You're right, King Mark. Denzel's son, John Washington, is on that show, Ballers. No, I did not watch Acrimony, as I really had no interest in seeing it. I already saw the narrative of what that was when I saw the first trailer for it back in January, and I already knew what type of movie it was and quickly lost interest. Yes, you are so late. We've been on here for 2 hours. But better late than ever. Than never, I should say. And it's crazy because, like, you know, Taraji P. Henson, she's a good actress, but I couldn't bring myself to want to watch that movie. Sorry, I just couldn't watch it. You said, when is Black Lightning coming back? I don't think they started filming the second season yet. They probably won't start filming the second season to sometime over the summer. But hopefully it comes back on, maybe hopefully in the fall. And hopefully they have more episodes this time around. Instead of the 13 that we got, hopefully they have like a 22 episode season. But yes, Black Lightning, the first season, is on Netflix. For those of you who have not seen the show yet and want to watch it, the entire first season is on Netflix. You said, isn't Tyler Perry's next movie with Tiffany Haddish? I did hear that she is in a Tyler Perry movie. I'm not sure what it is, or I'm not sure if he's even in it, but I did hear that she is working on something with him, or has worked on something with him. I'm not sure. But see, here's the thing though. As long as movies like those are going to make money, they are going to continue to be made. I have watched I haven't caught a lot of the episodes in the second half of the season of Supergirl, Ashen Lewis. I don't know if I am. For some reason, I feel like I'm falling off because Black Lightning to me has become has literally taken my spot for that. But CW has too many shows on it to try to keep up with. Now I want y'all to hear something right now. If you are familiar with Twitter, I conducted a poll where on that poll I had asked, well, one question I had asked, and this was in a reference to Black women. That was the first one that I did. Hold on. Let me let me go on here because I want to pull it up so y'all can actually see it. No, as a matter of fact, let me go to my Instagram account because then you'll be able to see the screenshot. It was a very interesting, I guess you can say, case study that I did. Let me know if y'all can see that. Can y'all see it? And yes, Ashton Lewis, I have heard of this show called Snowfall. Now the question asks, ladies, would you date a man who wore a hair unit, aka a man weave? 20% said yes, 20% said maybe, and 60% said no. Now, how much do you want to bet many of the people that voted in this poll are lying? Mind you, this thing only got 20 votes. 20. Now, I've conducted polls where I've gotten way more than 20 people vote in these polls. I'm trying to figure out who said yes and maybe. That's what I'm trying to figure out. And see, the thing is, they remain anonymous, so you don't know who is voting. Because how it's set up is like if you vote in one of these polls, you can see the results, but you can't see who actually is voting. It's probably best that they keep it anonymous for certain reasons. Okay, so everybody has seen that. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next one. Hold on. Now this is one that I conducted yesterday, and there's a reason why I say wanted to wait until now to do the live stream today. Yes, they actually do have something called a man weave. It's like a hair unit that looks like a man's actual real hair. Like if he's balding or he's bald and he wants to feel, have hair again, they'll actually create something to put on his head that actually looks like an actual, like his hair. And some of you will probably be fooled by it too, because it actually looks like his real hair. Now, this is the one I did. I said, just for reinforcement purposes, I'll ask the men. Fellas, would you date a woman with a weave? 41% said yes. 36% said no. And 23% said maybe. Those who said yes, well, see, it's kind of hard to tell, because some of them are lying as well. But based on the two polls that I posted up here, can anyone see that there's most likely a slight double standard there? Because you will have some women who will say, well, if I want to wear a weave or anything like that, then I'm allowed to, and there's nothing really that you can say about it because I pay for it. But let a guy put a hair unit in his head. Oh no, I wouldn't date a man who wears that. Hold on, Nicole. I'm gonna see if I can send the link to you again, since it sounds like you're off now. But I just thought that was very interesting, and I wanted to show y'all that. You made it.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Nicole. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm outside going to the car, so excuse the background noise.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm not doing the hair club. That's not cool. I don't know if I can see it. The chat. Oh, sorry, my bad. I'm walking out of the building. Thank you for bringing me on. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. I actually like when you do your live streams whenever I can catch them, but I realize that with the time difference, because you on West Coast time, time.
It's 5:01.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock, right? It's just turned 8 o'clock where I'm at.
Right. It's kind of difficult to get the timing, and I always have to think like, I'm like, well, I can meet anytime, but everybody else can't. But yeah, it's cool. Please don't let me stop you. Go ahead and I think you're doing your polls.
Yeah, I was showing a poll because I did one yesterday, and 2 days ago and yesterday. First one asking, would you date a man who wore a hair piece or a hair unit, aka a man weave? And when I was saying, like, when I got the results back, 20% said yes, 20% said maybe, and 60% said no. Then when I did the one for the men, exactly, I said many of them are lying. Many of them
they don't know.
Lying. But then I did one for the men, and 41% said yes. 30, I think it was 36 had said no, and about 23% said maybe. And many of them are lying as well. But like I said, it's anonymous, so I don't know who said what.
Well, with the magicians and AKA hairdressers nowadays, it's hard to tell. I mean, I've seen videos, men getting weaves, and you can't even tell that that's not his hair. Same with the women, the wigs. So some people are dating people who are wearing weaves, and they don't even know.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know, but some people really are lying. They just don't want to admit. They feel like if they admit, hey, I date a woman who wears a weave, then I guess he's less woke. I can't remember who that was.
I got quite a bit of feedback when I had posted the results on my Instagram and on my Facebook account.
It's a good idea to see how people that
respond to that,
how they respond and who responds too, because people can share it, right? Yeah, that makes it even better. People who are not within your network that you communicate with, they give their responses too. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's a person who I'm friends with on Facebook. He has shared it and people started responding to it. I'm gonna read to you what some of the people has said. And this is the part about the man weave or the hair unit. Somebody said, you want the Nas or the Kimbo Slice? Someone said I'll take the Nino Brown. Someone said I will take the black Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay. So nobody went for the Jim Brown.
Right. And someone and a woman has said, man, who cares as long as his tracks ain't showing.
Oh gosh. That's what did they do in the rain? Well, I mean, I guess you can't take it off. It's like, how do you wash it? I don't know. Because it's different for men having to wash a wig.
Because they actually, I'll put it this way. When it comes to the hair unit, it doesn't work like how a woman's weave would work. You know how a woman can go into a hair salon and she'll bring the pack of hair in there and they'll sew it in.
Right.
With the hair unit, based on what I've seen, they actually have to measure the man's head.
Right. I'm thinking of a celebrity.
And actually create a unit specifically
Right.
for their head. Like, it's not a one size fits all type of thing. So they have to actually get their head measured, and then they create it, and then they'll come back and they'll put it on their head. And
well,
then
if you think about it, you know, you've seen somebody who went to see Trump, who had that, Tangerine, who had that done. If you think about it, if anybody in the chat room, they know who it is. Number one answer, Family Feud, Steve Harvey.
Oh my!
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's yes. That cake he had on his head. That was a cake.
He did. I was like,
they had to out here in LA. That was the way it was. Even in Chicago, it was like that. They had to they would like clear out the whole barbershop. That's what Corey was saying.
Because I was wondering,
they would clear the whole barbershop out.
Because I was wondering how in the world, like when he was on the Steve Harvey show back in the day, like how was his fade so crisp? Like not a hair follicle out of place.
He came in there with his bag of follicles. They put him through. Freeze Love said they put him through a baking process. He said it was called Plastifro. That was the funniest thing. It was on 5150, old episode. Actually, it's the one I just saw it last week. I watched it again. It's 5150 MLK. Just type that in. Episode will come up, and they talk about it. But that's what that reminds me of. There's a lot of guys out here who get that. The weaves and stuff. Oh my God, it's so hot out here. It's like 86 degrees.
It was actually pretty decent where I'm at today. Now here where I'm at on Saturday, it's supposed to be hot. Saturday's supposed to be like in the 90s. So,
yeah, it's hot. But
it's funny you brought up 5150. Aren't you glad they're on YouTube now?
Oh yes. You don't understand the pain and peril of being on Ustream. Oh my Lord. I was like, can y'all please get on YouTube? Because Ustream, and then it's expensive. That's the other thing. I think that's one reason why Corey decided to come to YouTube. I'm glad he did. It's expensive. Like after a while with Ustream, paying for crappy service, basically.
Right.
It was not consistent.
I realized that they don't have as many glitches and everything when on YouTube opposed to stream.
He already had the super chat capability before he even came to YouTube. You know, looking at the numbers, he had the super chat capability before they probably had super chat. So, you know,
I really love that show. Like I remember when they first came on YouTube, and I was like, "What's going on?" Because I had forgot they had announced the week before that they were going to convert over to YouTube from.
Oh
YouTube.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
on Ustream looking at a blank screen.
I said, why does it say live next to their name at 11 o'clock at night? And then I had ended up listening to the entire show. I stayed up late to listen to it. I said that's probably the only time I'll ever do it. That's why I just listened to the recording the next day because it was like 1 a.m. when they were done. And I like listening to their show because it's funny, it's raw. To those in the chat, if y'all have never listened to the 5150 show with Corey Holcomb, like you're doing yourself a disservice. If you want a good laugh and you want to hear like raw honesty and truth, that's the show for you.
I mean, Corey does talk, a lot of stuff, but he does give a lot of good information. And he has Zoe on there, Darlene.
And now they got Craig and Nate on there too.
Oh, Craig and Nate. Oh my gosh. Back in the day, it was Bobby, Poetess, Darlene. Corey's wife was on there a couple of times. She's funny. He wanted everybody to call her auntie. Her name is Maya, but he's like, everybody gonna call you auntie. I don't want nobody to know who you are. I mean, they figured it out real quick though. But yeah, now the dynamic changed a little bit. Zoe, I think with his kids and stuff, he's cool. He's a cool person.
Yeah. And then, Zoe, he has his own little other radio show as well.
Right. He has a lot of stuff going on. I've met him twice. So he told me like how busy he is. And the second time he was talking about a lot of business stuff. So I got a lot of good game from him. And that was before I even decided to, start doing anything as far as videos. My first video was on Amber Elephant Face Phillips.
Oh.
In my car, I was like, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. Sorry, I didn't want to curse. I was like, I'm sick of this gal this woman thing. And I just went off. I just put everything out there. I was like, oh, I'm so sick of her.
Right.
But
Everybody.
like all of that, that's from, because they're here. They know a lot of people, you know, in the industry. They know people as far, not even the industry as far as Hollywood, but just business in general.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll give you good advice. I mean, you hit them up, and you can go on anybody on Zoe's live streams or contact him. Very open-minded. You know, Corey might be like, "Who the hell is this?" You know, he might be like, "Who is this?" But you know, that's just Corey.
I'm not even gonna lie.
If I
was to go on that show, I would be able to hold my own, like, and you know, laugh and joke with them, and you know, also be serious at the same time. I think I could actually handle being on there, because like I probably wouldn't be able to make it through the show without laughing so much.
Right. I'm thinking that everybody, you know, everybody comes on there. They have their own energy. They have their own story they want to, or their narrative that they have, and everybody has their own experiences. So that's what makes it real. That's what makes it real. And then Corey throws in the comic relief every once in a while, but he's not. People always think that, oh, he's just bashing women, or he's too funny, or he's just always about humor. And I'm thinking he's a freaking comedian. Like, come on.
He talks about everybody.
In comedy, it's truth.
He talks about
himself. You know, where people think that the term Snack King came from.
I say anybody who can make fun of themselves and still make it funny, that shows you right there they have no filter, because some people can't even critique themselves.
Right.
Which is unfortunate.
He talks about it.
Critique myself.
Yeah, I do. I think what keeps me from doing so many more posts and shares is because I'm so full of myself. I'm like, oh, I wanted to talk about opioids. Then I'm like, then I'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna go and see what Black media has to offer as far as opioids. And then I'm like, oh, there's Lisa. Okay, all right. There's Tori, and I'm like, I want to hear about thugs today. And then I'll just go look at your channel. I'm thinking I want to hear about the environment. I go look at, I go to different people's channel. I go to Ajali's channel. If I want to hear about anything that's happening, like with the suicide today, I was watching your video, and you were like, not everybody is gonna make it in 2045, and I was like, okay. So you bring statistics, you bring the data, and then I'm like, okay, I want to hear something about like something that's really serious. Professor Black Truth, very serious. He brings everything full circle for me. If I want to hear dialogue, if I want to hear something funny, where to go. So that's good. Like community that's building and that's stronger. So if I want to hear, like on Sunday night, I need something to watch, Tariq. He's filming. He's there at his house, 7:00. It's 7:00 for me. I'm at home cleaning up, getting ready for the week. So that's what I do. But yeah, you're right. And being able to be critical of yourself, and then being able to laugh at yourself too when you make mistakes. I mean, Corey comes in there. There's an episode of him with a pink, like it looks like a satin pink blazer.
Yeah, he be wearing some crazy stuff. He be sitting around there with them nunchucks and everything, like he about to do those.
Not the nunchucks. Forget the nunchucks. What about the ukulele?
Oh my god.
He has a ukulele.
I mean, like, where did he get these props from?
He just goes to like 99-cent store or something and gets them. Because the ukulele he had, I was like, oh, that's at the 99-cent store. Like, I remember seeing those. Some of them have flowers on them. And, the little Mexican kids, they're the ones that just little kids in general, they get those. Some people get those. I don't know why older people out here get those. Like, they get the little ukulele, the sombreros, and the beach mats. I don't know why. But I see little kids walking around, little Spanish kids with those, and those little like $2 flip flops that break like in a day. They get those because they're like they have like glitter little things, just little junk on it that you can't do nothing with, but it's cute, I guess. So he probably got that from a 99-cent store and just brought it with him, which is $1 and like $1.10 with tax, probably.
Yeah.
And just brought it in there. He just does things like that, but it keeps the show going. It keeps momentum going. He has views. A lot of people actually have more views on channel than stream. or even cable television shows do.
Exactly. He has a lot of viewers on that live stream.
Right.
A lot of them.
A lot of views and a lot of people that correspond with him, because they've had, what was his name? I mean, they had Force MDs on there. You had Earthquake on there. We already know about Mr. Spears. Move on from that. We've had, we've had different people on there. We had Ludacris on there, AKA Zoe, and he was throwing bows. But it's cool. It's cool because because they have a lot of different people. Like even I think Big Daddy Kane called in the show and Darlene's phone. He was talking. They were talking real good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a good show. I think. But you were talking about earlier the video, and I was in there last night for some of it with Bitter Truth. When you were discussing the Donald Glover or Childish Gambino video, This Is America.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really good discussion. I enjoyed it.
I was trying to read something that Spirit of Justice had wrote in the chat, and he said, "Did we hear what the Root did?" And I said, "What did they?"
Lord.
Do? I was like, "What did they do now? What problematic stuff did they do now?" But basically, it was a story that came out. It says their chief editor of The Roof wrote a book about a 37-year-old white man having a sexual affair with a 14-year-old black girl.
It's funny because I was just watching.
Described it as an erotic fantasy. I'm sorry. They said they described it as an erotic fantasy. Now, at first, I'm like, what? I was like, okay, what white man did this? Not that it would be surprising, but then when I was able to read between the lines after reading it again, when he said erotic fantasy, so basically this is a made-up character that they made for their book. Basically,
it's funny because I was just watching Radical Home Goddess her video when I missed and moved my hand because I was trying to swipe down, and then I saw it said Torian in real time live. I was like, oh my god! I just clicked on it because it was at the end of her video, but she went through it. She didn't even. It was so disturbing while she was reading and just talking about the website itself. I went to the article. It's like, it's lit. And I was just like, okay, this is some fake woke mess. It's lit. And so I was like, okay. I'm looking. I'm telling you, Tori, I couldn't even read past the first couple of sentences without feeling sick. I was like, what? Who writes like this? Because her video about that is like the root is ghetto gaggers or something. And that's pretty much what it was. It's like a 14-year-old child with this 30-something-year-old man, I think. And she went through explicit detail because I kept stopping and going back to her video because I was like, I can't read this. Then I went back finally and just skimmed through it because it was just getting more and more just disgusting. I'm like, who would put this to page? Like, who would put this on the page and think that that's cool? And then got at the top, it's lit.
I'm listening to you. I'm trying to go through. They said go to pull the article up on Tariq's Twitter page, but then I got caught up in this tweet he posted about Feminista Jones. Oh my god, another person I can't stand. Saying she said some very derogatory things about Marcus Garvey. I said, oh, nerve struck. There's just some people you just don't talk about. He said that that she made her page private after that. They probably got her.
Of course, because she's Shane. They get more and more dangerous and more bold with their rhetoric that they put out. And I was having that. I mean, I had that video I put out, but it was like, I mean, people, emailing me like, this ain't right. You ain't really down for Black empowerment. No, you need to talk to her. I'm not for it. Like I'm looking like I'm not the one here talking about all Black men are bad, agreeing with someone who says all Black men are rapists. All men are rapists, especially Black men. And you already know who said that. I'm not the person out here saying that Black men are the number one reason why Black women die. you know, the number one cause of death for Black women is Black men. I'm not out here doing that kind of stuff because that's absolutely insane.
Somebody pulled us.
So you emailing me about that? You know, people emailing me about my take on it or my video. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You know,
somebody posted up screenshots from her Twitter account over the years. And and she said, "You're not very smart if you don't think Beyonce can sing. She can. I just think she's afraid her real voice is too attractive to her father." Then she said, "I think Beyonce has had sex with her father at least once. That is the only explanation I can come up with for the shenanigans of her life."
Oh, wow.
What in the world? What kind of stuff is going through your head for something like that to even come out of your mouth?
Right. Yeah, see, they have this white woman complex where they think that they're in with the white women, and if they're not in, they want to be in. They're thinking that turning against their own is gonna put them in some kind of position. But last time I checked, feminist loans, you needed money for what? To get your car out? And didn't Tariq send it to you?
I remember.
Yeah, because y'all, I mean, you forget, like, we out here at the same time zone. And when stuff happens, I know y'all see it too, but it's like other stuff happens, and it's like I see all that, and I'm just like falling out laughing, like, dang. And so he was like, I sent her some money. I was like, you put on there for her car or something.
Hey, I found, to the people in the chat, I found the excerpt from the article. I think that was Dallas Fort Worth that wanted me to read what it said. Now, this is just an excerpt from that article about that erotic fantasy. And then I'm going to tell you something else that I found out about the author of this article. It says, later, when I masturbated until I fell asleep, I wondered if that was love. I now know love is an artifice, an artifact, artificial. I never loved at all. I was hot, black ass, fast-tailed bitch, 14, primed for fuck for any day by anyone. Motherless, fatherless child waiting to be exploited. I was sex personified, hot and bothered. I was Venus. I was Sapphire. I was hot and tight. I was forbidden fruit, and he ate me like a peach. And I came so many times, even though it was wrong, and my mother would have slapped the taste out of my mouth if she ever once cared that a white man was in my pussy. A 37-year-old white man with a thing for 14-year-old girls with no pubes and open, blown up, thick lip mouths, curly hair, nasty demeanors, problem children who no one would believe.
Wow.
That's just an excerpt. Now,
That's
just
crazy.
from that alone, it makes you scared to even read what came before it and after it.
After. Right. Right.
Now, here's the interesting thing about the person, the author who wrote that. This same person also wrote an article back in 2012 called "Before You Date a White Guy, Have a White Friend."
Oh, wow. So the plot thickens. Like, it's just, oh, Lord. Debauchery
and like Spirit of Justice said,
everywhere.
He said these are the same people that started the Mute R. Kelly hashtag.
Right. Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
I wonder where Zimmerman was when feminist alone needed her money. I wonder where they were at. That's all I can.
That was a running joke for a while.
Yeah, feminist alone.
that title alone had me cracking up for the longest.
He was like, "Baby, I got you. If you need something." And then he was when Crystalline was having her breakdown, for instance, she's another one. You know, Tariq was like, "I don't know what to do. I got my dick in swag. I don't know. I can't make it over there. Like, I can't help you." You know, he played the song. How'd it go? I don't even know if it's still up there. Somebody probably downloaded it, but he played on one of his podcasts the song. He's so stupid. It was "You Don't Have to Cry." I feel you through the night. That was hilarious. I was just like, what? I had to rewind it. And I was mad because I was at live where he was talking about, he was singing it too. He was like, "You don't have to cry." he was like, calm yourself. No. Now you want black men to save you out of the white man that told you that swirling, he doesn't want to swirl anymore. and he's not about to be with the girl who swirls. Now you want to cry. No, no, no. You want to come at black men and ask us to help you. He kept saying, he's like, I don't know how to get over there. I got all my dick and swag. I just can't make it. So she was on there ranting about black men with Brooke Blue, and he called her husky. He said she had a husky voice, which she did, and she sounded like a lumberjack, and so or a gas station worker, gas station attendant outside. And so that was, oh my goodness, the feminists. It's the age of exposure. True Royal has said it. Sister Ajalee has said it. I mean, Neely Fuller has said it. Even in so many ways, he was like, the only relationship with them is tacky, trashy, terroristic. I mean, I've heard him on many occasions saying that type of thing, and they don't get it. They do not understand. It's gonna have to take them being completely shut out from white society, and they be like, look, Heifer, you can't come back no more. You just can't. We don't want you no more. And it's like a stray dog. You try to, you got a stray dog at your house. Yeah. Well, out here, you don't have that issue, but where I'm from, you got stray dogs all over the place, and you be like, get out of here. You try to kick at them, and they still coming, like they want something to eat. Right. And you just gotta like throw something at them, like real heavy. Just throw something at them at their head or whatever to get them out of the way. That's how they are. These women are sick and twisted.
I'm actually glad Spirit of Justice asked me to go look up something on that trash site, because something did come up on their website, and I ended up wanting to pull it up on another site because I didn't want to read it from their site. Did you know that Congress passed a new bill that said they will imprison people for 10 years if they injure a cop? It's something called the Protect and Serve Act. So they got a Blue Lives Matter, and now they got a Protect and Serve Act. Well, yeah, I hope they, you know what's so crazy? They are going to use that to target us the most, even though it's mostly white people that get combative with them. All they got to say is we didn't comply. Now they don't even have to shoot to kill us. They can just do it and send us to jail. That won't mean they won't stop being trigger happy.
Right. Yeah, because I knew that type of thing was coming, because they have to, protect themselves as they think that they're in a genocide. So they feel like, okay, what can we do to make sure? Because they were arresting people who, were putting charges on people who filmed them killing people or wrongfully questioning people, kind of like, I call it the Eric Garner, Walter Scott type law, Alton Sterling type law. So yeah, it's getting worse and worse. And in your video that you just did about Oklahoma, I was like, okay, my comment was something like, yeah, they get ready every day. They arming themselves every day. And we need to be ready. Right. But sadly, we need to be ready for our own people. That everybody that's your skin folk ain't your kinfolk.
You're right about that.
Everybody that look like you ain't with you. And it's getting easier. I appreciate the exposure of a lot of coons and vet winches out here, because just like that Very Smart Brothers, the root is the same website. If you look at the top, it has all those different tabs. And Ajalee went through it earlier today. She showed all the tabs. Very Smart Brothers is up there. The Grapevine is up there. And I was like, dang. When she said that, I was like, oh, because I subscribe to their channels. So I was like, now I got to question them, and unsubscribe or whatever, because they're on the root. This is the same people that, like you said, talk bad about R. Kelly, talk bad about O.J. Simpson, maybe not him, but because we already know how he cooning. But they talk so bad about black men and then black women and black children, just in black society in general, when they do that. Because they'll be like, oh, black men this, black men that, they're bad. They love saying black men are trash, they're trash. But then when something happens to your ass, look what you done did. And then they expect women out here to be like, oh, we got you, we sisters in the struggle, we gonna work together with this, we gonna pray on it. We gonna pray on it. Hell no, get your cornbread and hit the road and get out the hell out of my face.
Right.
I'm not about to be, no, I'm not. You're the enemy at this point. Just like Lisa said, what you do, you pump a coon for the information you can get, and that's it. I talked about it in one of my videos. I was like, in China, what they did with their coons during the Opium War, they said, oh, I mean, that was to the extreme. And I ain't saying you got to go to that extreme, but it would be appreciated if Corey was like, and I agree, it would be appreciated if some of these coons get, just get the shit knocked out of them for real. Just pop up. You shouldn't be safe on the streets when you cooning like that.
If we had
in Nazi Germany, they had coons in Nazi Germany too, and they got the shit beat out of them too. Unfortunately, a lot of them died in concentration camps, but hey, it worked for the moment.
Exactly. If we had established a code of conduct, like a solid one, they would never coon the way that they do.
Right. And you have to have a way to punish people that do you wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell my brother that because he's younger, much younger than me. But I try to tell him, like, you have to build an economy. We have to build an economy together. We have land, property, but we have to get more, because I was like, you can't rest on your laurels with that. And you have to have something to pass down to your children. You have to have a person with you, people that you associate with who are about that life, who have a certain mindset. If you can already sniff that they kind of shaky, you got two options. You either build them up to a certain point, and if they still don't get it, kick them to the curb, or you throw them away with the trash, with the coons and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And he's starting to get it. He was like, you know what, man, one of my friends, man, I realized he's cooning. I was like, but he sounded like he was sad. He was like, man, I realized he's cooning. Like, it's almost saying, like, you know what, the other day, I realized my friend got colon cancer. That's how it sounded to me, the way he was talking about it. He's like, I realized he's right. He got coon polyps. I was like, I said, well, what are you going to do about it? I deleted him from my life. He's gone.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he's completely gone. I can't do nothing with him. He's like, this dude was talking about, and I asked him why. He said, this dude was talking about how, what was it? He said, I don't see Stephon, what's his name? Stephon Clark. He was like, well, I didn't think Stephon Clark was really cooning that bad. I mean, black women do make it hard on us. And I was like, but you married to a white girl. And he said, yeah, that's what I said, but you married to a white girl. So what? I don't get that. I said, yeah, he'll get his moment soon enough. Hold on. I know y'all tired of seeing my face. I'm gonna be driving and making, like, probably cussing at people, so
I'm actually Nicole, I'm actually about to hop off of here. I've been on here since, and I'm actually starting to get hungry.
I feel you.
But I didn't want to eat all in.
Yeah, I wanted to do a video about This Is America, that video, but yeah, I feel you.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna do a video about that Protect and Serve Act. That one got me feeling some type of way.
I feel you on that, because it's important to keep that information out there, because what happened last night with the with Bitter Truth Show. They changed their article up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right. That's why when I thought about doing videos about different articles and just having a screenshot the way you do, and some other people have their videos formatted that way.
Mm-hmm.
But there have been too many times where I'm reading an article like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and then by 9 o'clock Pacific, which is noon Eastern, the article has changed. I'm like, shit, I know what I read. I know this is not what I read. They done updated it like 2 or 3 times by then. I'm stuck. So that's why whenever I get the article, I have people email me about that and criticize me about that. Like, why are you reading the article? We can read. If you're that slow, you can't figure it out, you don't need to be on my channel, first of all. But that's something we should know. It's propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's how it works. They switch it up. They get people calling in, people emailing. You look at the comments. The comments change. They remove people's comments at the bottom sometimes. If you saying something like, "Oh, these cops deserved it," they remove your comment. If you saying "Blue Lives Matter," they leave your comment, depending on what it is. You know, I've seen articles where at the bottom of the comments somebody said Nicholas Cruz is a hero. I was like, damn. Then I come back, that comment is still there, but all the other comments saying this is terrorism, this is obvious terrorism. You know, people talking about he should get shit knocked out of him and everything. You know, he should be dead. You know, all this stuff that gets removed. But anything like it depends on what the source is too. You know, as we know. But yeah, I will be looking forward to your video on that. I want to do a video on that video with the Donald Glover music video. I'm not really into doing stuff about music videos, but it has such a, I guess, significant themes running all throughout it. And I'll figure something out. But yeah, I'll let you go.
We'll see. Well, I'm glad you was able to come on and talk to me, even though it was probably like 30 minutes, but you had some input that you put in. And also shout out to the people that was in the chat since the beginning, because I started the stream at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I've been on here for a while. But of course, you know, I'll be doing another live stream. Of course, when I do or plan on doing another one, I'll do another announcement on my main channel. If they got that daggone notifications fixed, I wouldn't even have to do that. But I don't know when I'm gonna do another one, but when I do have another one to do, y'all will know about it.
Okay, thank you. Good night, everybody. Thank you for
having me. Everybody have a good night.
All right, bye.